good, y'all? This is JV here for K-Vibes, and I got another album review for you guys. Now today we're getting into the new ELO album, Femmes. Now I know that's a French word, and my pronunciation is jacked. Forgive me, bear with me. But I'm excited to get into this. If you're not familiar with him, he's a Korean R&B singer out of the AOMG movement, you know, along with Simon D and Jay Park and all those guys. So we got a new album out from him, and this is actually the first full-length project that I've actually heard from him. I'm actually not super familiar with his discography. I've heard an extensive amount of features that he's done, but I was finally really excited to check out a full-length project, see what he got. So if you're not familiar with how my album reviews go, usually I go just track by track, give my quick thoughts on each song, and then at the end, give my full thoughts on the album as a whole. Before we get into I just gotta say, I absolutely love this album, man. And I'm gonna get into the specifics why later, but man, this is something special. Now, first track, Wax Mannequin. Dope, you know, super building that to that climax, like it's super low key at first. It has that little spacer at the beginning of just almost like pause, and then it's like slowly building up. You're getting a feel for the vocals, and with this track you're not even getting the same level of energy that you get with the rest of the album. It's a super great primer into, you know, the kind of artist he is, and then that perfectly transitions into the second track, Fwb Friends with Benefits, of course with Hootie there. A huge fan of her. Y'all know how much I love her as a vocalist, so I was excited to, you know, see some in-house collaborations here. We got a couple in-house guys. We got a couple you know, out of, you know, into the game. Like Day and Night got Gray in it. We got, sorry, I'm looking at the track list. We got Jay Park on Tattoo. We got Simon D on Angel, and then Hootie on Fwb. Palo Alto is pretty much the only non-AOMG person on this project. So I was really excited to see, you know, a lot of the AOMG people. So Fwb, you know, has that super like addictive and catchy chorus that I really love. And there's a certain section of like the last half of Wax Mannequin that is like super like beyond transition. It's like literally almost carbon copy of Fwb. So that was a really cool kind of way to go into this track. And then the energy ramps up like crazy with the song Rose. I spoke briefly on this song because I did a reaction to the music video. You're getting kind of like a disco funk kind of vibe to it. I absolutely love the instrumentation on this. I love how energetic his vocals, and I love how different this is from the previous tracks on this. The end with Palo Alto kind of switches up. We get, you know, some nice bass tones in there. Palo Alto's verse on the other half is super dope. I love the chorus on this one, man, and the way his voice kind of syncs up with the instrumentation is absolutely fire. Then we get into Day and Night with Gray. Again, those bass tones into it. And I do need to speak on the fact that AOMG have ramped up their production like crazy. Not in terms of quality, but also just like straight output, man. We've gotten so much AOMG material this year. It's insane, and all of it is at such a high caliber of musicianship. And I'm just so impressed with AOMG, man. They were always, you know, in the talks as one of the best, you know, hip-hop collective, or not even hip-hop, but music collectives in the Korean game, along with, you know, VMC and Highlight and Illionaire. But with this, man, this year, some of the output they put out is just mind-boggling how great the songs are. And then it brings us to Tattoo with Jay Park. Pretty much my favorite track on the project. Yeah, I just think it's a really kind of like addictive, you know, pop trap kind of vibe to it. It's sensual, you know, it basically encapsulates the perfect vibe and you know, fusion between ELO's sound and Jay Park's sound. Jay Park's verse is kind of, you know, he does his singing, he does his rapping, and this is kind of like that hybrid vibe that we get from Jay Park sometimes on like songs like All I Want to Do and Solo, where it's kind of like a melodic rap. He's singing but flowing at a speed that's, you know, indicative of something that you'd usually see with rap. So I was excited to see that. Then it brings us to Angel with Simon D. Love this track, man. And of course, y'all know I'm a sucker for like anything house, deep house, anything like that. And can't be a 2016 Korean pop project without a little bit of deep house in there. I thought, you know, it was perfect together. They sounded great. And again, we're keeping it in-house, so these features should come to no surprise to you. And then the last track, Parachute, the remix with Gray, was excited to put this out. I'm with the remix kind of vibe. I'm like, is this a bonus track? Is it not? But it fits perfectly into the continuity of the entire album. And you know, as final thoughts, I gotta say that there's a lot of, you know, great Korean R&B singers. Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking Babylon, I'm thinking Bumkey, I'm thinking Crush. And the cool things about these artists is that their single games are so amazing. And if you take an artist like Crush, who constructed that project, Crush on You, one of my favorite K-R&B projects of 2013, or was that 2014? Forgive me about the year. Crush on You, just such an incredible project. But the thing about it, it was like it was almost as great like a greatest hits. Like it was just banger after banger after banger. And what ELO did was a little different. The energies varied, you know, from track to track, but what he made was one cohesive experience, reminiscent to like what Jim and Park did on her project that I went over not too long ago, 19 to 20. Yeah, it's just a singular kind of vibe with alternating energies and flows and vocal techniques, but at the same thing, it's one experience, man. You put it on and you start listening to it, and next thing you know, it finishes and you're like, holy crap, I didn't even know that one track went to another, because it just flows so well together. And it just shows the musicianship and how just amazing of an artist ELO is. And it makes me really excited to see what he does from now on as a soloist, because again, I was super familiar with his singles here and there, and you know, a plethora of features he put out, but I had never heard, you know, him in the context of a project. And now that I know he can craft a body of work this great, it just makes me super excited to see what it holds in the future. So I'm curious as to what y'all thought about this project. So in the comment section below, let me know what you thought about the songs. What's your favorite song on this album? What do you think it was? How do you think it flowed as a complete body of work? Let me know what your thoughts are on it. Until next time, this is JV. I love you guys. Bye.